Hey guys, so today I thought I would do another magazine bad to good, this time doing a makeup spread. I'm not super sure what the topic is, but we're starting with this awful design. And rather than just showing a speed design, I thought I would take you through my process and just see what this turns into, because I don't know what it's going to turn into, but there are already a lot of problems. So to begin, where should we begin? Well, let's start with the stuff up here. So the hierarchy isn't the problem here. So generally, I think the first thing you're going to see here is, well, if you can read that, it's not very legible. So I think the first thing we want to do is make that legible. It says makeup shake-up. Because why not? So we want to use something that works for an article about makeup, and we also want to make it nice and big, just so that hierarchy is there. Why does that look like it has a noise on it? Does that have noise? It does. I like it with the noise, but that's not quite fitting the theme. So I'm just going to make sure that is nice and centered, and then I'm going to get rid of this border because I don't know why it's there. We really don't need it. Though on a lot of poorly designed articles and things, you do often see like just a random border on the top, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it doesn't really work and it wasn't really necessary. So makeup shake-up, is that 2 words or is that 1 word? I'm gonna have to look this up. So, and then we have by Rachel Green. Now that is the author, not a real person, obviously. This is a character from Friends. Let's see. Let's go with, well, this is Babass, so why don't we try doing that, but in smaller. Maybe like an 18. That's not bad. What if we adjust the leading here? Is this leading? Why can I never remember? Leading override. Yes, this is leading. Oh, and we've lost it completely. Why did we lose it completely? Come back. Oh, what? Anyway. So I'm not sure if I like it centered. Maybe we want to do left. Left isn't bad, actually. Okay, now, one thing I should start with is my margins. So we want to go into the document settings up here and just make sure that we have our margins on. So we've got 1 and 0.75 around here. So let's see what that looks like. So those are our margins. So I'm going to keep all of my text and everything aligned to those margins. And I can just take those off with preview mode. That's what it's called. The get rid of your guides button. I like the button. All right, so we fixed the header a little bit. It's not very interesting, so we're going to have to do something more with that later, but it's so far we've fixed it. Okay, so right now, initially, we just want to go in and fix stuff. So that image has a border, and we're going to get rid of that because it doesn't need a border. Now, we've got a whole bunch of text. Yes, it's lorem ipsum, because I didn't actually write an article about makeup for this. So we're just using placeholder text, and as you can see, so this text is right justified, and this text is left force justified. So right off the bat, we have an inconsistency with how the paragraphs and the type is actually laid out, which is a problem because we want consistent text. So we're going to left align and normal left align. So we want, what is it? It's left ragged right. Is it left aligned ragged right? No, it's justified left ragged right. What is it? I can't remember what it's called. But it's, maybe it tells me here, align left. Yeah, sure. So we're going to align our text to the left. This is ideal for readability and also not force justifying to make it fit in these nice little squares and rectangles and straight lines is a lot easier to read as well, because then you have like these weird rivers and valleys and stuff going through your text, but we don't want that. We want align left and ragged right all the time. Okay, so next, the leading on here is a little bit tight, so we're going to bring that up to maybe a 15. Yeah. Also, this is 14-point type. So, which is interesting actually, because 14, I mean, from here it actually looks like it's a good type size, right? But this is ideally going to be, a printed piece. This is a magazine layout, not a digital magazine. So we could actually go as low as 10. I think 10 is the minimum you generally want to go for magazine type. Oh, that actually looks really nice. So it didn't follow over to here into these ones. But we could go with 10 point. So we'll do all of that at 10 point with 15 leading. 10 point font with 15 point leading. Whoops. 15. So that's nice. Now it does have like this weird green color on it. And I have a general rule of body type not being colored. So we want to use black or like a really dark gray. So let's make a nice dark gray. It doesn't have to be super dark. Should not be super light. So we'll go somewhere in here probably. So it's readable and it's pretty. And again, mostly readability. Yeah, you can read all that Latin text. Perfect. All right. So it's already starting to look a little bit better, just a little bit more breathing room. You're a lot less like feeling of claustrophobia. All right. So next, I'm gonna have to do something with those images. Although the placement of that one isn't bad, but I don't like how this one doesn't align with the bottom of that. I like a lot of things to align. So what should we do next? Maybe we can bring that up a bit. We should probably fix the paragraphs here. And decide if we do want to have 10 point type or if we want to go a little bit bigger. Maybe a little bit bigger. Just because if this is, and I realize it is a completely fictional project, but if it is at some point converted to a digital format, having a slightly larger font size is usually helpful. So now that we made the type size a little bit higher, let's bring the leading up a bit higher. Just a little bit. We want to go, in the body copy, we want to go for readability above all things. What about the font? The font isn't bad, actually. Although if we're going for readability, generally we want to use a serif typeface because that is a little bit easier to read. But it doesn't mean that, you know, a font type that isn't a serif font is, what am I trying to say? This is still readable. That's what I'm trying to say. But if we want to go super readable, we can go to a serif type. Like that. But, you know, we still want to consider aesthetics here. So let's go for a nice sans serif typeface. Like what? Calibri? Candar? Nope, not that one. Carlito? I like saying that. Carlito. That one? No. It looks fancy, but no. Courier. I actually kind of like that look. Huh. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't really fit the theme. But it did look pretty. What else? I've got too many options here. Ibrima. I don't think I've ever used this one before. It's not bad. I think we can probably use that one. For now anyway, until I change my mind later. Which happens a lot. Okay, so why don't we do something a little more interesting with the title here? Because, yeah, it's not very interesting. But right off the bat, we are just trying to improve things before we make them fabulous. So the other glaring thing I'm noticing here is these numbers. So generally, I don't want to have numbers this close to the gutter. So this down the middle of the page is your gutter. That's where the magazine is going to fold. So you want to have stuff all really far away from there because it's going to get lost right in the gutter if you don't. Page numbers especially. So I'm going to bring my guides back on and I'm just going to tuck my little page numbers right up in there. And this is something you would probably set up with your master pages. And you would have the numbers auto-generated when you had master pages and stuff up here, like right here. So you would generate, basically you would decide where to put your page numbers on here, and then they would just kind of populate down here to all the other pages. But we're not doing that right now. That would be a separate lesson. So what to do? I'm just realizing I didn't save this version. So maybe I will go do that first. I will just select all of that, copy, and I will undo everything I've just done. In a horrible twist of fate. It's all being undone. I've already done quite a bit, haven't I? That's cool. Nope, we went too far. To there. Okay, we got it. Let's go down here and paste. All right, so now we are going to be working on, not the bad one, this lovely one down here. Oh yeah, so this, I like doing this so we can compare. So you've got your old one that is, you know, you can read it, but it's not good. This one, already a lot easier to read, a lot more white space, a lot more breathable. It just looks a lot better. But we still have a problem with these gutters in here. So let's go into here. Control 0 to get to our full size. And we were working on the numbers here. So we've got our numbers down here. And those are 12 point. I don't think they need to be quite that big. So let's maybe bring those down to 10. Ooh, shouldn't have them at Arial though. Let's, I don't know why. I have no reason. They just shouldn't be at Arial, on Arial typeface. And maybe, yeah, Baybest works. That does work. Okay. All right, so I'm going to actually go back up into document settings and our margins. So the inner margin here is the one in here. So as you can tell, that margin, that inner margin is a lot bigger because it should be, because you don't want anything running down that gutter. So we're going to just go with that and align everything to that. See, so now we've got a nice bit of breathing room in here so that you're not losing anything important in the gutter when you're actually reading the physical magazine. So what to do next, I wonder? Maybe something with the pictures. I mean, it's nice already, but it's a little boring. It's just a little boring. What to do? We could make it 3 columns. We could, I don't know, maybe add some color, make it super interesting. It's called Makeup Shake Up, and it's like, this is the most boring article in the world. What about makeup? What about it? Let's see what to do. Well, I think for now we could call this the good or the in-between layout, but there are still some things that are bothering me. Like right here, we've got that one little word down at the bottom, and you don't want that. So we're gonna bring that. There we go. No widows and orphans. We don't want any of those, and that's a bit of a problem too. So we'll bring this up here so we have less stuff going on there that I don't like, and that's a little bit better. Okay, so for now, oh, those aren't aligned. Oh, that sucks. Oh, I dislike that. Okay, you know, but we'll leave this as the good layout, not the great layout. It's just the subpar layout, I think. Let's see, take away our master pages thing, and we are going to select all of that and paste that here. All right. So now we have our terrible, awful layout, our mediocre, okay, whatever, subpar layout. And we got to make this one amazing. Amazing. Okay, so when it gets to this point, I usually try to think of if I can do something with the typography, like the main heading typography, if I can do something interesting with that, or if I can do something interesting with the images. Now this image has this whole area over here where there is nothing, so I wonder if I could put text there. So let's just move some stuff around, make this image nice and big. And then we can maybe move it over like that. Now I could put some text here. And because it is nice and flat, like it's just one flat color, or at least it appears to be one flat color, I can also extend it out and do something else that's interesting with that. So let's move some stuff around. I'm just going to dismantle everything I have and see what I can do. Now, I don't want this taking up that whole page, because then we're not going to be able to put any text on the page, and we have a decent amount of text. So I can't have imagery that's too enormous. But what if I try doing like that? And then just put a little rectangle in here that doesn't have a stroke, that just, let's press the eyedropper and get that color. Ooh, yeah, no, that blends pretty seamlessly, because I don't know where it ends. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so we can do something like that. I'm just going to select those two and group them together with Control G. So now we've got something. Is it something interesting or not? Now, that was so that was our first paragraph. Not that it matters. It is just lorem ipsum, which is Latin text. What does it mean? I don't know. I used to. I don't remember anymore. Now, I do have these column guides on this page anyway, and I can shift up those column guides. It was view guides and then my column guides. So I've got these little column guides here, 1, 2, and 3. I usually like doing 3 columns. So we can keep it at that, or I could change it up to 2. We don't want 1. 2 is nice. 3 is better. 4 is too much. 4 is great if you're on a web page, but we are not on a web page. So 3 is pretty good. And then I can adjust the gutter in here. Maybe a point, just going a slightly smaller 0.3 gutter maybe. I'll probably end up changing that. And then I'll close that. So when I go and I bring that out to here and I go up to here, columns 3, then it nicely fits in my little column guides there. Actually, no, it won't. 0.3. I need my gutters here. 0.3. There we go. So it all aligns so beautifully. So we can bring this up a bit. And I could have it like that. It's not bad. It's not great. And then bring that to 3 and also 0.3. Is that aligning properly? Oh no, it's not, because they're not in the same area. Let's see. Okay, so our columns are the same. Now this is not working for me very well. No, I need to just select the image inside of it only. Oh, no, I didn't want to. That's too much. I don't want to do that. Okay, how do I do this? Just the image. Just the image. Just that. Oh, I don't have, that's why. Okay, no, I want... This is so much easier to do in InDesign. Oh my goodness. When you have an image inside of a text or a box, essentially. Let's move this one over. Now, how did I do this? I can always do it, but it always takes me time, and then I never remember how to do it. Okay, let's just cut that. Megabox. And we will go... No, where's my paste inside? Paste inside right there. And that didn't even work. What? Where is it? What? What is happening? Okay, yeah, never mind. That went a little crazy. Maybe I'll bring it back and see what I am doing wrong. Where are we? Up here. Okay, I think I remember what to do here. So I'm just going to cut that. And I need the picture frame tool. Hooray, picture frame. Okay, here and there, and then paste inside. There we go. Okay. So now the image is inside my little constraints here, and I don't have to worry about it going everywhere. Good. Okay, there we go. Much better. So now I can just decide how I want to have that. And is that not going to the top? No, it's not quite going to the top. Does it have to? No, it doesn't. But for right now, we're going to have it at the top. It kind of looks like neither of them are going right to the top. Okay, is that better? That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, back up, back up. So now what? Well, we can fix this text stuff that we adjusted on the previous layout, because we don't know what we're doing with the text layout quite yet. So I like that. And I like the idea of having kind of like a diagonal text thing here. We could put this at the bottom. Oh, I also need to have that in a text picture frame. Nope, not text picture frame, just a picture frame. A picture, what's it called? Picture frame rectangle tool, yeah. So edit and paste inside, there we go. Now we can move that freely within our rectangle. We can make it a bit bigger too. Yeah, there we go. Now this picture is a little purpley, whereas here we've got some nice like pinks and whatever, this very orangey beige is. I'm not sure what you'd call that, but it's like a yellowish friend color. Friend of yellow. But I don't know if I want the purple or if I want that to be a bit more yellowy. I mean, yellow and purple do work well together. So I might just leave it. I haven't decided yet. Depends what I do with the text here. So let's see. Let's get this back to where it's supposed to be. And like that. Okay, so our layout is a little more interesting now. Slightly more interesting. Not that much more interesting. Not too bad. This is still, because this is a light color, this is still going to be pretty readable because our text is quite dark. Lighter would be better, like slightly lighter, but this isn't, it's not a huge deal. You would, if you knew how to speak Latin, I guess, this would be readable, I assume. I don't know. I don't speak Latin. It'd be cool to learn Latin just so I could like interpret lorem ipsum, but I think the internet will do that for me. So what to do now? Well, I think next we have to do something with the heading here. In order to do that, I think we got to move this down and make this bigger, because that's how you do headings. You make them big, right? You should make them enormous. Let's make this maybe not that big. 144 is good. Now, what is actually happening here? We need to get rid of our, let's go to auto. Those are two different type sizes. Okay. We want 144. I think we on, yeah. And let's bring that to here, and we will now do the leading so it fits. So I like this typeface for the theme of the article, because I don't know, this seems like a very makeup-like typeface, which is nice. But is it interesting enough? Like, what do we need to do to make this a bit more interesting? This is the first thing you're going to be looking at because it is the biggest bit of text. So when you look on this page, I mean, you might see the imagery, but essentially you're going to look at this text first, then probably the author, and then the article and the images. They're not really drawing a lot of attention, so they're just kind of supporting elements. Now, what else do we want to do to the text, I wonder? And I did double check that shake up is spelled like that without the hyphen, or like that. So it's shake up. Shake up is a word. I need to verify these things now because I do not get spelling right all the time. So now with this text enormous, I think the Miss Rachel Green here, her name should probably be a little bit bigger because it's getting lost there. We can bring it up to 24. Yeah, that works. And what about a different color? Let's see, we've got some pink colors. I actually really like that. That looks really pretty. Maybe not the author's name, but the actual title, the heading title is really nice. What is this? We wanted the brown color. I have too many typeface or too many colors on here. What color is this? 30, 30, 30. Good color. And we want to make this also the 30, 30, 30. I don't know why it's not saved up here. It should be. No, I wanted color. I want to make sure that there's no noise on that one. Okay, good. I use noise on all of my other designs, so by default, it's always like, hey, you want to have noise on this, right? Right. And usually I'm like, yeah, of course. But in this case, no noise. See, that's nice. Those are that's a nice color combination. The pink with the beige. And maybe we take this away for now. I don't know. What if we made this like that green color? Not green color. What color? The gold. The gold here. No, that's not going to even show up. Yeah, that's not going to show up even slightly. Let's see, rectangle tool. Ooh, it's pretty, but yeah, no way. That's definitely not going to show up. See? No. Not good. I like it, but there's no readability. And that sucks. Yeah. This looks like a piece of cheese. Processed cheese is so delicious. Yeah. I mean, it also looks like a Post-it, but I'm hungry, so therefore, right now, this looks like a delicious piece of cheese. And I want to put it on some, like, white bread and then grill it up in a frying pan. Oh my god, that sounds so good. So good. Okay. let's just put you off here because I don't have the heart to delete you yet because you remind me of cheese. But we will bring Rachel Green's name back to gray. And what else shall we do? Well, maybe I will make these not connected. So let's take away that and make it so the author's name is its own thing. And now they are in two separate text boxes, so I can move them independently of each other, which works so much better. On the top. Now, makeup, shake up. What do we do with this? We can make it bigger. Should we make it big? You know, that's not bad. Okay, so what if I made that absolutely, I think this needs to be lower. Or not lower, on the bottom. On the bottomer. Okay, so this we can make absolutely enormous. Only to here though, not that enormous. Only to there, because we don't want anything interfering in our gutter area. But we could make makeup a bit bigger so it fits to here, but I mean it works either way. Let's bring the what just happened? How dare you? I was doing stuff there. All right, there we go. Okay, so the color-wise, I like this color combination. We could make it a bit more readable by putting something underneath it. Why does that keep happening? This should be on the top, like that. What if we use that color and we put it somewhere else? That's less readable, actually. I like it, but it is less readable. I'm going to take off my snapping because I don't like how that's snapping, and I want to be free here. Okay, I actually do like that. Yeah, that's okay. But this bottom one, which one is it? This one. Let's have those right next to each other on my layers panel. What if we made that darker? By that much. Nope, no, it's terrible. I hate it. Ugh. What if we did a better job of making that darker? Hey, there's an idea. I don't want to veer into like dark red territory here. No, we've lost all of its fun. No, it was nicer when it was like a pale pink. But it's not readable. What if we gave this a border? It's meh. It is meh. What about a white border? What about a white border on both of them? Okay. Not the worst thing. Not great, though. This looks terrible with the white border. That should not happen. And what about this one with the gray border? Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not great either. What if we made this a bit bigger? I think I'm just making it worse. Yeah, I'm consistently making it worse. Goodbye, stroke. I do like this, though, but it's a bit light. Just a little bit light. Like the yellow color isn't going to work without that pink underneath. But why don't we try reversing these? Okay, so bring our guides back. Put this little dude right there. Take away our guides and put this on the top. Like that. And make it so it looks consistent-ish. Like that. And full scale. Not terrible. Okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not. It does show up better there. So if I made this color a bit lighter, it would show up, but it's not going to fade into that quite as well. So never mind. I mean, I could do like a transition here. So this is a light color and this has like a transparency gradient on it. So that's an option, but I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. It's too many decisions to make and I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make decisions. I'm a designer. Oh, gosh. It's the hard part of like creative careers is that there is no right answer. There's a lot of like wrong choices and there's a lot of right choices. And then there's a lot of just like, yeah, okay, whatever, that works. Choices that aren't great, but are, you know, they'll work. Generally, you just keep going until you get something that fulfills the client's brief, and doesn't totally suck. That's it. That is it. But here, there is no client brief. I am just doing this for the YouTubes. So I can just kind of keep going whenever, for, you know, until the end of time, basically. Which is a problem, because I need a deadline. Or this doesn't end. Ooh, that's not bad. I could actually fade that. What if I faded that? Okay, we could bring this all the way down to here. Too low. And this, I'm going to use the transparency tool to fade it. Doesn't work when it's on the bottom. Okay. Transparency. Transparency. Does that not work? How is that not working? I am distraught. What? Why is that not working? Have I not done that previously? InDesign can do that. Let me fade the image. What? What? It's supposed to make my image somewhat transparent. What? Why is this not working? Is this another thing that it probably just works differently in InDesign than it does here. So that's fine. I'll just reluctantly put this over here until I can figure out how to do that. Annoyingly, I still don't know if we have enough readability on this. So what if we did a third text bit here? A third? Oh my gosh. I like just putting text on top of text on top of text. Ooh, hello. The white actually shows up. And we've got some cool color underneath it. And it's mimicking the white from the background here. Okay, this could work. What if we did the gray color? Oh, actually, that might be better. That might be, or it could be worse. What do you think? Worse? Better? I don't know. They both work. There is no wrong answer. Maybe white. Maybe white. Yeah, okay. And then we put this maybe down here. Like that. Okay. Okay, that works for me. And the author name still has to go somewhere. Rachel Green's name should we tuck it in nicely right there? Nope, I don't think so, because that's going to be over our gutter margin. So maybe we just bring it back to where it was previously and just leave it there for now. Because I don't know what I'm going to do with it quite yet. Yeah, no idea. Okay, what about this whole thing here? What if we just group that all together? Bring it down a little bit. Yeah, it looks a bit nicer when it's just got a bit of space at the top there. Okay, and is that aligning? Is it? Yeah, it's kind of aligning with the yellow part there. Mostly. I'll allow that. And then take off those little guides. And I kind of think I should make this smaller, actually. I think it's just 2 in the way now. Okay. But I could also make that white because that would fit now. Not great. Maybe I'll just undo that. Yeah, okay. I need to move on to something else right now. Let's do some of the text. So, text bits in here. Make them... We don't want them to go all the way down here because we have our page number right there. So what if we had it go to there? Not bad. And then over here, we'd want something very similar. Let's get our snapping back on. We would want them to start and end at the same spot, like so. Now, unfortunately, this is not allowing us to have a lot of text on the page. And we had a lot more. How much more do we have, actually? Let's find out. So not a ton more, but, you know, a little bit more. So we want to fit all of that on here because we are designing this to fit to the text. Yeah. Ooh, what if we brought this over here? Does that have an end or a top, I wonder? Oh, it has a top. Okay. So I can maybe put that like there. And make that a little bit bigger. And I could bring it down to there. And let's... Yeah, like that. And bring that here. Now I can make it so the text goes around the lipstick. That would work too. Or I could do it like right there. So many options here. It's getting a little bit busy though. So what if we had it like there? And we just got rid of that whole third column because that's not going to be very readable. Yeah, and we'll just, do we have anything else on this side? Oh, we do. We have some more stuff, some more makeup stuffs. All right, that doesn't seem to be working super well. So maybe I'll bring this up like that. Yeah, it's not bad. Like that, maybe? Yeah, we're still... I don't like how you can't even see what this is. It's not important, but you can't really see it, and that's making me sad. What to do? Okay, so if we leave it at that, I could bring the columns down to 2. I said down to 2, not 4. And just kind of shimmy this over here. No, that's too small of a column. That would work, actually. That would totally work. Okay, and then... Well, I mean, it mostly works. This is not great. So that can be fixed. I'm like trying to think in my head what to do while I'm trying to verbalize what I'm going to do. It's kind of tricky. Okay, why don't we change the guides? Go up to here, go guides, and bring guides to 2 columns. So when I have my stuff there, so I know what my 2 column guides would look like. So this is nicely aligned. Take off that, and I can bring this here. I can make that a bit bigger though. How's that working? Not terrible, not great. Kind of like having that scrunchie in there. Scrunchies are important. Right now it's just I'm just trying to like figure out what's the precise measurements of this makeup to get it to work and show up well. And okay, maybe we just have it like that. And I rework the text here a bit. That looks nice. I like that. What if we may just... Whoa, I apologize for that. Just make that a bit smaller. It's too small, I don't like it. Bring this all the way over here. And down. I wonder if we could mirror that image. And have the mascara there. I don't know. But I want to see what it looks like without that. And that. And let's make that the pink. That's a little bit simpler. I think that might work a bit better. Just have it like that. And then we would have to arrange, and we can actually rotate this. There is no reason we can't rotate it. So let's just rotate it a bit nicely like that, and then fit there. Oh, we don't have the blush brush, but that still works. Yeah, that totally still works. Okay. And then we can have it so the blush brush is on the other page like that. And this page has 3 columns. No, this page has 2 columns. So we could have it like that. Although I think we may run out of room if we only have the 2 columns. How much extra do we have? Ooh, oh no, so much extra text. I mean, we could just say, meh, who cares? Which is what I usually do with this stuff, but it'd be nice to actually fit the text there. It'd also be nice to make this lipstick not bright red, because I feel like it's maybe standing out a bit too much. And there are many ways to do that. Like ideally, I would go and take this image into Photoshop. That's how you should do it. A really quick way to do it for like if you want like a test of concept, proof of concept essentially, would just basically be to do it in here with a much thinner stroke and just draw around the edges like so. Just to see if this really works. And bring it like that. Oh gosh, I didn't do that very well, did I? And shimmy that down a bit and over to here. And then when we have that, we can change that to our beautiful pink color to see how badly we did tracing that. Ooh, so bad. So not good. Not great. Okay. And then we'll just, see, I like that better, but it looks silly. So we will go and we will see what we can do with these colors. Ooh, screen's not bad. Yeah, this is definitely not the way you should go about this. Just FYI, you would do this in Photoshop or Affinity Photo, for example, and you would go into the image itself and change its colors. You wouldn't just do it like that. I mean, this kind of works. Yeah, it kind of works actually. So for these purposes, we're going to leave it like that. And we're going to have a look at the before and after. After, before. After, before. Yeah, that works for me actually. I am good with that, but I will make that fit that image or group to the image. Now we do have a little bit more text we can play with over here. So if I bring up the author here and I can bring that up to about there. Okay, yeah, I can play with that. I have played with that a bit better. So we've got a decent amount of, oh, that was my elbow. Oh, elbow on the desk. Oh, that hurt. Okay. Anyway, that's got a bruise. Anyway, so we gave ourselves a little bit more room, a little bit more text area here. And I think we still have a bit of text we want to fit in here. So I can bring this, why don't I change that page to be view guides and we'll make that a 3. And then I will bring, nope. Where are we? Like that. Okay. That's not great. You can't really see it, but it still works. And then we will make this into 2 columns. Bring it like that and expand. So now we have all of our text fitting. Hooray! It fits actually quite well. Cool. Okay, what next? Well, we don't have to have it quite so high up there. We can bring it down a little bit because we have a little bit of room at the bottom. But we don't want that either. So, because that bad. Now, we did get rid of the second image, but this image, it's not really adding anything anyway. It kind of sucks. And this image is way more interesting. And unless the client is like, you absolutely need to have this image here, you can just get rid of it. You know, if it's a lot of times, at least when I worked in publishing and I was making magazine layouts on a daily basis, it was like, here's a file or a folder with all of the images you can use for the article. One of them might be mandatory. The rest are like, if you can fit them, great. Any images that are, supporting images, like if the article is talking about something and then we have a picture of that exact thing, you generally want to include that, but you don't always if that's not the case. So we'll just use this image right here, but I do have the scrunchie here is cut off at the bottom, so we don't want that. We don't want to cut off scrunchies. Yeah, it's cut off quite a bit, so I maybe will make that the whole image a bit bigger. And just do it like that. Okay. And now we have all of our stuff on here. Now I don't like how concentrated this paragraph is. So, and without the context of what the actual text, I can't speak, what the actual type is saying, like what is this article talking about? Can I do an actual paragraph pause here? Like, can I skip to the next paragraph or make a line here? Without having that, I don't know. But I'm making the rules here. So we can, that's one thought. And this is a second thought. Yeah, in Latin. So we'll just bring that up because we don't want to have that one single line just hanging out there. And I will bring this to down there. So we have no widows or orphans because they're bad. Well, not in real life, just in graphic design, they're bad. And then I'm going to have to move this guy. Oh no, I changed the shape. Oh, I made it bigger and I completely forgot. Oh no. Get rid of snapping. Oh, what have I done? I've ruined everything, guys. I've ruined it all. Oh no, I fixed it. We're good. Although I might just make that a little bit more transparent. Just like that. So it blends in and looks more realistic. It's still pretty red, but it's definitely better than it was before. Okay, now we've got our page 1, page 2, mostly okay. I like the image, actually. This is quite cute. It's adorable. It's adorable. No, we don't stretch images. We don't do that here. It's wrong and bad. Let's see, what else do we do? We've got our text, makeup shake-up. How are people going to read this? Well, they're going to look at makeup shake-up. And they're going to be like, do I want to read this article or do I not want to read this article? Then they might read this part at the top here. So why don't we make a little part at the top, which is, I forget what it is in like, is it a byline or summary, like a quick summary of what the article is about. And I like having that because it, 1, looks really good, and 2, is great for, people who don't necessarily want to spend the whole time reading something they might not want to read. Okay, yeah, it looks pretty good bold, but, oh, I do have a bold version. Okay, good. Ooh. Yeah, okay, that looks good. I can deal with that. Sweet. Okay. That's a good color. I like it. The typeface is totally working. Feel like I should actually write something there, but I don't know what to write. And this is boring. It's just boring. The rest is great. This is boring. Not that it has to be very interesting, but it'd be great if it wasn't super boring. And I'm going to go actually just, this part up here is driving me nuts. So I'm just going to bring that and cover that tiny little bit of makeup that is not necessary. Yeah, like that. Yeah. That's not covering. No, it is. Okay, it's covering perfect. Most of the time. And that little, what's that? Mascara? Are you mascara? Is that the end of the picture? Really? Okay, well, whatever. That works. Okay, I think how that works pretty well. And let's see what I'm going to save this before I forget, and I'm going to go to full screen here. Now, should I put a background color on that? Probably not, because it's not really needed, and white is generally a good background color to have behind text. So I could do something like that, but then I'd have to make the text white. And we are unfortunately losing quite a bit of readability. Although this text isn't small, so it's 11 point, which is pretty good. You're going to lose a lot if it's like 8 point. If you have a white over a colored background and the text is really small, it's hard to see. And especially because it's hard to print. It is really hard to print that out with that level of clarity. Whoops. So why did it just go do that? All I did was press Control Z and it brought me to a different page. What is the deal there? It's still doing it. That is annoying. That is annoying. Okay. Regardless, let's continue on this page. Why would it do that? Okay, so, oh yeah, my cheese. My cheese is still there. Can I use my cheese? What if I use my cheese color? And then I can use the gray again. Ooh. Did the cheese save the day? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see. Oh, I can't have that there. No. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do there. I'm not sure what I'm doing about the text yet, though. I think that works pretty well. Yeah, if we have this pink, I could make it a lighter pink though. There is no reason I can't do that. Make it like a really nice, almost a pastel. Problem is with that, it looks too, well, no, that one's actually fine. The other one looked a bit too similar, but at the same time not the same color. So it just kind of looks like a mistake. But this pale color isn't bad. I don't like this part only because it's not gonna, it wouldn't show up in print, but it shows up here, so it drives me nuts. So how are we doing so far? We have our bad, we have our good, we have our great, or we have our, I don't know, it's great because it has these little lightning bolt earrings. And that's pretty cool. If I had lightning bolt earrings, I would totally wear them. They're cool. Why not? I don't know if they go with the whole makeup theme, but I still like it. I like it. It's cool. So let's see. Should we go back to the pink? Thing is, I think the pink works better because it matches the color, but it is a lot harder to see. Oh, so again, we could go with the white. Because it is 11 point, it will probably show up in print and it wouldn't be a huge issue. It's not going to be as great for readability. So we would definitely have to consider who the target market for this magazine is. Like, is this a magazine for young people? Second question, are younger people even reading magazines? Oh boy, I don't know. And if they are they exclusively digital? So a lot of questions here. So I think because of that, because there's so many questions, I'm just going to ignore all the questions and do what I want, because that's my only real option at this point. So with that in mind, what are we going to do? Do we want to have the white? If I back it up, you can see that it's not quite as readable. But the other option is just having the gray, which honestly, this this pinkish color is pretty like medium. It's not white, it's not black. It's right in the middle of being a super light or a super dark color, which makes it hard to make a decision. So we either need to make the color darker or make it lighter, which I did before. I don't like that as much. So the other option is to put a rectangle inside of that to here. Make the rectangle white. Bring the text up here. Make the text pink. No, that was not a good option. And make the text have one column. And we're not fitting everything. Although that does work. That does actually work. We can bring it over to here. And that was the wrong thing. No, it needs to be higher. Okay, so this and that need to be at the very bottom. Where is our nice little pink thing here? Oh yeah, that was our thing. What if we did like that? No, it's not as good. Unless I made this semi-transparent. Ooh, hey, that ain't bad. Okay, well, what am I doing now with this? What if I just bring this over here? I don't think that's solving any problems. That's just making new ones. I kind of like it, but there's no point in having that if I'm not going to put text over top of it. Although I could put text over top of it. No, let's just go back for a minute. And where was I before? Like that. Okay. Could you be the cheese? That could be the cheese. And with a white? Nope. No, definitely not. Yeah, that needs to be on white, I think. And that could be a bit lower. And that goes to about there. I'm fine if we cut out a little bit of text like this at the bottom just to make it, make everything kind of fit, because you do, and occasionally you do have to do that in publishing or in making magazine layouts kind of fit. It will happen. You know, let's ignore the rules for this first page here, so we can fit on a bit more text onto the overall layout, and that works pretty well for that. Not for that little top part there. So let's bring that down like so. How many times do I say like so? Too many. And we can bring this over here a little bit. And what about if we extend the white and it's not, I don't know anymore. I don't even know. It works, but it feels, what's the word? It feels like detached. What if I make this white? I know I'm not going to like it. I don't hate it. What if I make, oh my God, why does it keep doing that? That is so annoying. Like I'm pressing Control Z and it just jumps to another page. Why? Why? Affinity, publisher, why is that a thing that happens? Seriously. Not good. Not even a little good. Okay, what if we made this whole thing? We could make that white. Nope, we can't. We definitely can't. Never mind. I take it all back. We can make that the pink color, though. Can we? Yeah, no, that works. And then I feel like I should maybe do this. The author in white. Ooh. No. Is it, oh boy. Let's see. Yeah, it actually works in white. Fine. I'll let it be in white. Okay, so that's in white. Let's maybe make that a bit smaller so it fits in with the makeup here a bit better. So now we have white on this side, which means we can mimic the white over here as well. But why don't I just make that white right here? And now there's a bit more consistency. And this is actually just a little bit bigger rather than, yeah. So we'll just cut right into that like that. And just have a bit more breathing room. Yeah, and does it fit? Oh, it fits. Okay, that's good. Okay, so to there. I'm kind of ignoring a lot of my guides here. No, not really. We've still got that fitting in our one column guide. Let's bring our guides back. So view guides, 1, no, 1, 2, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. No, it has to be 3 because then this one's fitting 2 of them, and that would be 1. Am I making any sense? I have no idea. Okay, so I like the first page. I think that would be legible. If this were printed, the background would actually be a little darker because screens tend to be a bit lighter, like because there's illumination coming from the screen. So if this printed, this would be a lot darker. The white would still be white because there's no color on it. It would just be the paper white color. So I think this would work pretty well in print. Question is does it look good? Like, would somebody be like, hey, this article looks good. I want to read this. I want to learn about makeup shake-up and the Latin influence of makeup shake-up, lorem ipsum, right? Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay, so now what to do? This text is dull. So let's convert this into a few more paragraphs because it is a lot easier to read text when it is not one giant paragraph, when it is multiple paragraphs. Unfortunately, that makes it harder to fit. So we are just going to get rid of this because I am the editor-in-chief at this magazine. So so whatever. It's fine. It's fine, everyone. And let's see. Bring this. No. Yeah, we can maybe bring that down a bit. Okay. I don't hate that. Should I delete the cheese? But the cheese looks so good. I'll just make the cheese not cheese shaped. Yeah, okay, by cheese. I'm going to delete it. And that other little thingy in there. Now there is one thing I could do that I don't know if I really need to, and it is making this entire page the same color, because we are working with a flat color. We certainly do not want that one having a stroke, and we will put that, actually right where it is. So now we have this, which is honestly not bad. And we can convert that into our 2 columns and have it like that. Yeah, that kind of works. That does kind of work. So while I decide if I'm going to keep it like that or not, why don't we do something interesting with the page numbers? Just to make them more interesting, why not? So I've seen some magazine page numbers look kind of cool, where they have just like a little square here. I mean a rectangle. I know my shapes. And they move it over here. And then we center it like so. And put it like that. And it's just a bit more interesting than just kind of a number sitting there. Yeah, I like it. I don't know why, I just really do. But maybe we don't have to have it quite that high. I can bring it down to here and have the page number right there. So I'm going to copy that and drag that over here. Delete. I said delete. And put it here. And 12. So now our page numbers are just a little more interesting. I think it's nice to have page numbers that show up pretty well in a magazine, because if you look at the table of contents and you're like, well, I want to find that one very specific article, then having page numbers that show up really well is a lot easier if you just want to read the one makeup shake-up article, right? Yeah. Okay, now I think I'm undecided if I want to keep it like that or if I want to have this line. I kind of like having the line, to be honest, and if I do that, then I would probably change that to the pink color. Nay, the beige color. The beige color. This color. Yeah, that one. The yellowy color. And I think I kind of like that better. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. I'm sorry. I'm just going to leave this over here. Just to have that contrast. I like the contrast. Over here, we've got our image and we have our text on top of the image, but then we have just straight up text here. And I like that. Okay, I've decided. And we also want to have like maybe a pull quote in here. This one, I really like this line. This really speaks to me. It does. It's one column. It says, I can't even read Latin. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to butcher this. Yeesh. Okay. But anyway, pull quote. And then let's make it in the middle. I don't know. Where do we want to put it? Let's make it, let's give it a background of the yellowy beige color. No, a background. Background. Okay, I'll have to do a square for that. We'll make the leading a bit better. I can center it. No, I should probably not center it. It's better when it's like that. And then let's pretend it's an actual quote by giving it quotation marks. Kind of sound like Matt Berry. Quotation marks. That was great. Matt Berry's awesome. And, oh yeah, let's have it like that. And then do a square. A square in that color. More like this. And then bring that to the top. And what next? If we want to fit that into a rectangle. No, I think we want to have it maybe more of a square shape. In which case, this should be more square-esque. Yeah. Now, how do I do the hanging punctuation in Affinity Publisher? Because I don't actually know how to do that in this. This is the problem when, I learned in InDesign. Actually, no, that's not correct. I learned in Quark. I learned Quark, and then InDesign was like, hey, I'm here. And everyone's like, oh, hey, InDesign is amazing. And then I started using Publisher, and I really like Publisher, but I don't know how to do everything in Publisher. And some things are super much the same, and some are absolutely completely different. So, like, although text wrap I think is actually easier possibly in here. So we just click the button and we decide how we want the text to wrap around this. Probably want square. And we want a bit of space around, and I want those to be linked. So let's go. Yeah, that works. I'm okay with that. Now, if you haven't noticed, this is a very similar layout to the one I did previously for the architecture one. But that was a speed design, so you didn't really hear any of my thoughts going from the bad design to the great design. But yeah, the layout for this is very, very similar. Just this one's on makeup. Can't you tell by all this text? Okay, what if we put that at the top here? Right there. I like that. That's actually nice. What about there? We could have it right there. We could shove it on the side here. That works. Okay. Yes, that works. Okay. And what about our text here? How do we make that text fit? It's not all fitting because we made this too big. So we will have to bring this to the top and make it fit nicely there. And I'm going to have to make that so it fits in our little column. And then we can shimmy this around. Okay, we don't have any weird widows or orphans. And we'll bring this down lower. Okay, and we'll bring this up higher. Okay, that works. Okay, I'm going to save that. And what do we think? Do we like this? That is the full 100% zoomed in version. Do we like it? I don't know. Do I like it? Do you like it? Should we bring back the cheese? Do we like that with the pink? Okay, I've decided now I like it with the pink. I can't decide things. I shouldn't be in charge of deciding things. Why don't we go back and look at what we had before? We have the bad with this weird like green text and typeface of doom. I don't know what that is. And then we have our okay version, and this would absolutely fly for a magazine. Like, this is totally fine. Like, it's readable, it works. There's a couple widows and orphans, but it's not terrible. Or maybe it's just widows or just orphans. I think that's a widow, and it's an orphan if it's on the next line. I get them mixed up. That's okay though. That's why you constantly need to educate yourself as a designer, just because you keep forgetting things. It's great. And then here is our great layout. And I mean, it's definitely an improvement. It's definitely a bit more fun. Do we think we need anything else on here? Should I do little makeup? Little like makeup drawings. Why don't I have a pencil in here? I'm going to save this. What if I go to designer persona? Ooh, I have got my pencil. So I can just... Oh, wow. I should have had a stabilizer on for that. A stabilizer. What if I decide to just make a little lipsticky thingy here? Oh, wow. I'm doing a terrible job. Awful. Just tragically bad. This isn't even part of what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Okay, so that's a lipstick, right? Yeah, it's totally lipstick. And we'll do the top of... Okay, no, that's awful. I should use the pen tool and the pen tool only if I'm going to do a lipstick. I'm wondering if I should do just like little like lipsticks in here and like little things all around the page just to make it a bit more interesting. I don't have to. I could also do some sort of like a pattern. Again, doesn't he have to? I don't have to do anything though. Like I could do, should I do anything? I don't know. I could do polka dots. I don't know. I think I get to the point where I'm like, I think I'm done, but I should add something, which is always where things go wrong, adding things. Like I can, yeah, do some polka dots, Control J, Control J, Control J. We've got polka dots, group that together, bring it down, Control J, Control J, Control J. Select all of that. Polka dots. And then we'll just make the whole thing, yeah, that. That might be unnecessary. Ooh, look at that. Look at the colors on that. That looks so cool. Oh, readability is gone, but look at how awesome that looks. Oh, no, I've taken the image instead of the polka dots. Oh, no. Polka dots. Yeah, that looks cool. Dang it. Yeah, unfortunately, readability is number one. Got to keep that readability in there. Although we could have it just on the text or on the heading here. I kind of like that. I won't lie. It's kind of fun, little polka dots. It's just a little bit more interesting than it was before, but also at the same time, absolutely unnecessary. Like, why am I doing this? That's actually cute, though. Look at that. Adorable. It's so adorable. I'm trying to press Control Z again, and it just, like, shifted. What is happening? Maybe I need to update. I think it actually prompted me to update Publisher before I started, and I was just like, nah, that's fine, guys. It's fine. I don't need to update things. Probably should have updated, huh? Yeah. Okay, well, the polka dots, while I love them, and they look fantabulous. Ooh. I mean, that's not bad either, is it? Okay, why don't we just group all those polka dots together? And okay, I don't hate it. Now I'm just playing around with the polka dots, as one does. Okay, what about I could be playing around with these polka dots for the rest of the day. I really could be. Maybe I should make those to go to the very bottom. Like that. What if I made it go on its side like that? Hey, now we're getting somewhere. And then I also made them a different color. Like, yellow. Hey. But we ended at the gutter like that. Okay, what if I ungroup all of that? So, oh no, I ungrouped it all. Make it normal. Group it back together again. Make it, yeah, give it that nice pink color. And then go back in through and maybe overlay. Add lighter color. Nah, overlay doesn't really show up on the back, on the actual page color though. Could do it as, okay, color burn's not bad, and then just bring the transparency down quite a bit. It's something. It is a little more interesting. It's absolutely not necessary, but it's cute and you can still read everything. Okay, so if we do the polka dots here, then what if we bring them onto the other page? Then where would we put them? Yeah, we put them right here. Okay. Okay, polka dots. You do have your place. Okay. And I might leave it at that, because this is driving me insane. Okay. Bad, good, gooder. Okay. It's the goodest, guys. It's the goodest. I still have that little thing on. Okay, I do, yeah. Maybe we'll bring that up to a little slightly higher. Okay. And bring that back in. Okay. Okay, now I could do this forever. So I'm just going to save that. And I'm going to call it a day. Because, yeah, I could work on that literally for the rest of the day and still possibly not be happy with where I am. Okay. yeah, I'm going to end it now. So the whole point here, fortunately, was that, you fixed the things that needed to be fixed. You improved it, or we improved it to the point where it could be presentable. And then we went sort of like an extra level with it to make it a bit more creative and unique and interesting for the reader to read. And that was the whole point. It's just improving the terrible design and making it good, or making it great. I don't know if this is great, but it is good enough to work, I think. Okay. All right. I think we're done. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was informative and educational and fun. I'm going to go eat some cheese now. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.